Hey everyone, new Pokemon Snap released about a year ago, and it's probably the greatest spin-off that this franchise has seen in years. And honestly, that's a surprising concept to think about. How can a spin-off coming from the biggest media franchise in the world be as good as it is? Let me explain. For starters, the more recent mainline Pokemon games haven't been as good as they could be. In my opinion, Let's Go was pretty fun, but only really existed to put a Pokemon game on Switch, and the tacked-on motion controls were fun for the first few hours, but nothing after that. Sword and Shield was just Game Freak trying to find their way through the new architecture of this console, but struggling through their way to find their footing. And after that, 2 batches of DLC released for Sword and Shield, which were just a little bit better than the base game at best. At that point in time, that's all that had released besides a few quality spin-offs, also happening to be somewhat better than the main games for whatever reason. So, new Pokemon Snap kinda released at a critical point for me. I was a bit burnt out from the series, and I was just wanting to find anything to really keep me invested in this as a whole, so when they revealed this, I was actually really intrigued. I knew of the original Pokemon Snap, but wasn't really interested in it as it did not seem to have aged the greatest graphically, and didn't seem all that fun. But when this brand new Pokemon Snap game was shown, it looked really good. It may be one of, if not the best looking Switch game so far. And that's a miraculous thought, because the other Pokemon games on Switch looked mediocre at best. So after a bit of pondering, I decided to buy it, and it is one of my favorite games of recent memory. Getting into the actual review, I think this game is incredible. It's so cool how they managed to take the concept of taking photos of Pokemon on a set path fun. For starters, let's talk about the graphics. Jeez, this game is pretty. The Pokemon in this game actually have textures instead of just flat colors, as well as every bit of the environment being super detailed. The dirt is even pretty to look at. The Pokemon also have tons of unique animations than they do in the main series because of the lesser number of total Pokemon, giving more time to spend on each individual mon. All of this is all accomplished because of the set path that the game puts you on. Since it's all planned out in their interactions, it can also plan out the details way better than any other Pokemon game with its free-roaming RPG nature. It's super charming to see how all the Pokemon react to you and the environment around them. For example, you could just be going along the Fioro nature spot and run into a Scorbunny and a Pichu playing together, but then when you throw an apple at them and they see you, they run away to go to another part of the park. In order to create these interactions, the game provides you with a few tools. The first is the Fluff Fruit, which is basically just an apple. You can use this to feed a Pokemon, lure the Pokemon to a certain area, or bonk them on the head. The next item is the Music Box. This can cause certain Pokemon to dance or have other unique interactions with each other, leading to some 4-star shots. Then there is the Scan. This isn't really an item as much as it is a way for you to interact with the course, such as switching which way you want to travel, or learning more about certain things throughout the level. The last item is the Illumina Orb. These make the Pokemon hit with them glow, changing up their patterns and their interactions throughout the level. But the Illumina Orbs are special in the way that when you start off every region without them. This is because every region has different Illumina spots, so you have to discover them each time. In order to obtain these orbs, you have to photograph all of the Illumina flowers in a single particular level of that region. Some of them are pretty tricky to find and photograph, and the window to find them is very slim, so you better be on your toes. Every single environment has tons and tons of these situations, as well as you being able to personally interact with almost every single one of them. The immersion you receive is so cool, and it's easy to get lost in this imaginary archipelago. Speaking of this archipelago, there are 6 islands in the Lentil region. Those islands are Fioro Island, Bellasluvia Island, the Maracopia Islands, Baluka Island, and Durice Island, and a secret last island. I probably botched most, if not all of those, so sorry for that. All of these islands have different themes, so none of them feel even remotely the same, which helps for making the game become stagnant in its content. Each one of these islands contains multiple subtracks within them, which each subtract containing different time variations being daytime and nighttime, as well as each island containing a giant Illumina Pokemon to take photos of, which they're basically just better Dynamax Pokemon. And on top of all of that, there are specific research levels to every single one of those tracks, which change the Pokemon and interactions of everything. So with all that, you basically get around 100 levels to play through, let alone those levels having variations of their own throughout each photo shoot. This game is packed with all of its content, which is just an incredible amount of replayability considering that there's a scoring system for each Pokemon. You can take photos that are ranked from 1 to 4 stars based off certain interactions you receive, and those stars themselves are individually scored as bronze, silver, gold, or platinum, which help you level up in these courses, which in turn will help you get more interactions to level up even more. There's also a Pokédex full of these photos called the Photodex, and in order to complete it, you have to get every single one of these 1 to 4 star reactions for every single Pokemon. That may seem daunting, but honestly, it's quite a lot of fun. The game assists you with some of these harder interactions with its quests. These quests will give you a hint of how a specific Pokemon can interact, and will prod you to getting that 4-star photo. Once you beat the game, you're able to unlock legendaries in each of the levels, and honestly, they are so fun to interact with. They are much more unique than all of the other Pokemon, and they provide a real challenge for getting that perfect photo. I actually completely forgot to mention how you can also take photos at the base camp of the game, which is just a chill detour from the already chill levels. And on top of the base camp, this is where you conduct the menu things and the dialogue with the NPCs. There are 4 NPCs in this game: Professor Mirror, Todd Snap from the original Pokemon Snap, and 2 children which aren't important enough to have their names even spoken. That's definitely the reason why I won't speak their names. I didn't forget their names, no, but you did. You did. How dare you? Anyways, in this home base, you can look at your entire Photodex, check out your research titles and icons you've unlocked in your journey, customize your profile with these titles and icons, and even customize and upload your photos to the internet for everyone to see. They basically built an entire fake social media into this game exclusively revolving around these photos. This is also where you see the quests that I mentioned earlier. Now onto one of the best parts of this already great game, the music. This game has such a fun and relaxing soundtrack. It's just so chill, and it's one of the best soundtracks I've heard in a Pokemon game. I love it so much. If you ask me my top 10 games on Switch, Pokemon Snap would be there. The fact that this game can rank against all of those masterclass games on Switch shows you how highly I really think of it. The funniest thing about this is that Game Freak didn't even make this one. Bandai Namco did. I guess Game Freak's just bad at making Pokemon games, I guess. Well, Ultra Sun and Moon are some of my favorite Pokemon games. Games of all time, really. Legends Arceus is really good. Gen 4 and 5 are great. Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire were pretty good remakes. So